You may have heard of the kettlebell what the hell effect, which generally refers to the phenomenon where kettlebell training leads to rapid improvement in strength, power, and conditioning. But in today's video, I want to talk about the other what the hell effect that I discovered through kettlebell training. Now, as you can see here, one of the unintended effects that you'll get from training with kettlebells is a well-developed and muscular back. If you want to build a strong, thick, wide, and muscular back, kettlebell training can be one of the simplest ways to help you. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I build what you see here just by mostly training with kettlebells without really much of any direct or specific back workouts. And then I'll talk about how to optimize it further. Now, every time you do a swing, clean, or snatch with a kettlebell, you're involving your entire posterior chain, meaning all the muscles behind you that you don't see down from your feet, calves, all the way up to your traps are involved in this movement pattern. The bread and butter of kettlebell training involves putting the kettlebell into the rack position, typically by way of the kettlebell clean. Almost all the standard exercises you do with kettlebells involve this motion, whether it's a squat, overhead press, lunge, carries, and all the other variations of those exercises. Every time you set up for any of those exercises, you're automatically working on your back and pulling muscles just to set up for the exercise, which means even if you're not directly doing a set of kettlebell clean, you end up with doing a bunch of them anyway, just because you're setting up for a squat, press, or other exercises. So this is one of the magical unintended effects of training with kettlebells. But in order to further optimize your back muscles and strength development, it's a good idea to do some pulling specific exercises, and this is where I highly recommend the dead stop snatch. Just like the kettlebell clean, there are also two versions of the snatch, the dead stop version and the continuous snatch. I'll show you the differences between them in this video as well. I've covered why the dead stop clean is one of my favorite pulling exercises. I'll put a link in the description box below for you to check out after this video as well. The dead stop snatch is another one of my bread and butter exercises that I do regularly. You can see that I have a pretty well developed back musculature, particularly around the mid-back, upper back, and traps area. Now, if you've been following my videos, you know that I pretty much do only 3 pulling exercises as part of my workout routine: the kettlebell clean, kettlebell snatch, and a bunch of pull-ups. We all know that the pull-ups are great for overall back strength, but supplementing them with the kettlebell clean and snatch will really give you a more complete back development. The dead stop snatch is one of the most powerful and explosive movements that you can do with the kettlebell, as you're generating a tremendous amount of force from absolute zero. Your body is coiled and stored with a large amount of potential energy that you release by explosively standing up and ripping the kettlebell from the ground as you yank up the kettlebell with your arm, pulling it with enough force until it becomes momentarily weightless before you catch it at the top. This movement tremendously recruits the muscles on your mid, upper back, and traps. The kettlebell's travel path is directly vertical as you pull upwards, leading with your elbow. You can see how the elbow is pulling directly towards your upper back. From this point, the kettlebell is actually weightless because I've generated so much force in order to launch this kettlebell upwards. I'm only straightening my arm to catch the kettlebell at the top of its position before it starts falling back down. This is an amazing total posterior chain exercise with an emphasis on the upper body. Now here's the difference with the continuous snatch. This version starts with the kettlebell already in motion. In order to bring the kettlebell up, you're using the combined effort of your lower body and upper body, whereas the dead stop version utilizes primarily your upper body to generate force. The continuous snatch distributes the load more evenly throughout your body. You can see here how I'm generating force with my hips as well to push the kettlebell to the front. My arm acts as a pendulum that redirects the force of the kettlebell with a bit of a pull or really a tug towards the upper half of the movement in order to bring the kettlebell up to the top position. Unlike the vertical path of the dead stop snatch, in this version the kettlebell has a more curvy travel path. Now, even though this version is less explosive on your upper body, one of the benefits of doing this version is having to resist the kettlebell's force on its way down. This will primarily challenge your grip strength, but it also involves your back muscles as well. At the end of the day, no matter which version you do, the kettlebell snatch is a terrific exercise to add to your arsenal. It'll strengthen your entire posterior chain, and you can choose whether you want to focus more on explosive power on your upper body, in which case you would favor the dead stop version, or you can focus more on strength endurance by doing more of the continuous version. You can't really go wrong either way. The last thing I want to say is you want to try to go as heavy as you can with the snatch. Try to manage anywhere between 6 to 10 reps per side for each set. If you find yourself doing dozens of them, you should probably try to use a heavier kettlebell. So try it out and make it a part of your regular workout routine. Check out my other video below on the kettlebell clean and how it's one of my favorite pulling exercises. Subscribe if you haven't, and check out my other videos as well for great workouts that you can do at home just with kettlebells and bodyweight exercises that will help you build muscle, strength, and conditioning to improve your general health. As always, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.